Hi, it's Pete Finazzo with Decision Fitness and Nutrition in Suwanee, Georgia, coming to you from Tarryn TV.
Hey everybody, welcome to GoTarryn TV. I'm Tarryn the Traveling Trainer out of Atlanta, Georgia. It's episode 519. We have a gentleman from Suwanee side by side, as you can see, from Decision Fitness Nutrition, returning back to GoTarryn TV, Mr. Pete Finazzo. Pete, how are you doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Very good, thank you. Great to see you. And we talked to you a couple of weeks ago on the show. You gave us a really good, helpful insight and ways to do grocery shopping a smart way, ways to prepare and cook. So I see that you are right now in an area where you've got some supplements and nutritional protein powders and everything behind you. So how's everything been since we last spoke a couple weeks ago?
Really good. Really good. I'll tell you what, man, I must have the best clients on the planet.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of them. They have a great time when they're here, but just about everybody is making great progress. In fact, so much so that I've started a new program called Victory of the Day.
Victory of the Day.
So I want to start out with a Victory of the Day, and this one's a little bit funny.
Yeah.
I've got a client, Mark. And Mark's a big guy.
Yeah.
And he's been working out for a few months, and he's making a lot of progress. But, you know, Mark's follically challenged,
Okay.
put it that way.
Sure.
He shaves his head, and he came in the other day to let me know that a guy at work let him know that he no longer has a sideways butt on the back of his head. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
I've never heard anything like that, but I looked around the back of his head and I said, you know, he's right. It's gone.
That's pretty funny.
That gives a new meaning to the word butthead.
That's a new one.
But,
yeah, I like
it's really, people don't think about it, but when you're losing a lot of fat,
yeah,
it really changes the shape of your face and your head. I mean, it's when the extra chins start disappearing, man, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
It's a good deal. In fact, I'll tell you a funny story, and this is absolutely true. I had a little journey myself. I don't call it a journey, but, I made a decision. That's why my place is called Decision Fitness and Nutrition, because you do have to make a decision. It's not something you're going to think about doing, and you have to be all in.
Oh, yeah.
But, I was like a lot of guys. I was in shape in college, and then life hit. You get married, you have kids, you go to work, and you pick up 50 pounds, and before you know it, you're looking in the mirror, and it's not the same guy. But my own mother did not recognize me.
No kidding.
No kidding.
Wow.
No kidding. My own mom did. And the funny part is when you do this, I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but when you do this, you'll run into people that you I'm not talking about people that you see every day, but I'm talking about people that maybe you'll run into every 4 or 5 or 6 months. And it's kind of funny because you can tell when you first see that person that they don't recognize you. And, after you talk for a second, they pick up, oh, this is Pete, and it's kind of funny to watch them recover. They won't want to admit that they didn't really know who you were at first. Yeah. But it's one of the lighter parts of doing this stuff, and it's pretty cool. So, that's my victory of the day. I've got some other ones medically related, but we'll leave those for later. Yeah. But, and just touching back on what we talked about last time, I really didn't really kind of encapsulate it all, but we talked about the process of going shopping and, doing it with some intentionality and doing it with some planning. Yes. In that, you're not going home and shoving everything into the cabinets and into the fridge because half the time the stuff, you forget about it and you end up throwing it out because it went bad. But if you think about it, if you actually prepare the food right away and package it up, in your Tupperware, your plastic containers, whatever, and you actually implement that, you are not only saving a ton of money, but you're putting the right stuff in your body, and you're shaving all kinds of time off of your lunch hour every day at work. I mean, if you add it all up, if your life is, you're just going week after week after week, and you just can't figure out, why can't I break out of this cycle of being, kind of in a rut physically and financially and everything, what is the one thing I can do that really matters, that will really help me get ahead? It's that. It's being smart with your time and being smart with your nutrition. And in fact, I'll tell you right now, at least at my place, if you come and work out here, you'll actually make money if you are, going to a lot of restaurants. Yeah. If you're always in, right outside this window here, I call the loser lane. So it's a drive-through. You heard that here first. Stay out of the loser lane. The loser lane. I love it. Yeah. You don't want to be in the loser lane, because the food you're going to get out of that drive-through window is garbage. Yeah. It's designed to make a stockholder a bunch of profit. And I'm all about making profit. I'm good with that, but not at the detriment of people's health. But right. Anyway, I just wanted to kind of wrap that up. And so, how are you doing? Very good, thank you. I was really impressed again with the video blog that we did, and everything that you're doing there. You're coming up with some creative and innovative things. Off the record, after the camera, of course, we talked about some confidential stuff, which I thought, again, if you remember what we were chatting about, you were right on the money, and literally putting your mouth where your money was, or money where your mouth was, in that challenge. I'm not going to say it here, obviously. We won't tell everybody, but have you given more thought to what we talked about last time with kind of asking your clients to step up their game and put their money where their mouth was, so to speak? What are you talking about? I don't give it all away, but do you remember the challenge that you were going to say to your clients that we'll back up a little bit, but when we went off camera, there was a guy who you were frustrated with, and he kind of gave up, kind of a bigger guy, and then, again, not to give it away, but you came up with a creative plan to challenge the clients that... yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So, again, that's all I'll say on that, because I don't want to spoil it. Money. Yeah. How have you given more thoughts or, insight on that at all? I have, and again, we don't have to talk about it here. I still may do that. Okay. I have not. That really stuck in your head. Huh? It left a great impression on me. It had me thinking. That's for sure. I'll tell you that. Absolutely. Yeah, that's. I kind of put that over here on the side burner. I'm gonna because when you do something like that, you've really got to shake the tree and say, okay, what could possibly happen? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how could that be molded or kind of twisted in ways that wouldn't be good, but it kind of goes along with, and I'll tell everybody out there that's listening to what Tarryn's talking about is, we were thinking about with people that are challenged with motivation, talking about once they get to a certain goal, refunding some of their fees back. And I haven't really gone there. I'm not the only guy that's ever thought of that. I'm sure. I've never heard it before. And the fact that how long have you been doing this now? Probably about maybe 20 years almost. Okay. So, but what I wanted to talk about today, really though, was your motivation, because if you're going to embark on this endeavor to lose fat, get in shape, man, it's the body is non-negotiable. It's going to do what it does as a result of what it's exposed to environmentally. In other words, if it's getting too many cheap carbs, if it's getting too many high glycemic carbs right before bed, it's going to say, hey, these are great, but I don't need them. I'm going to store them up. That's what the body does. It's a biological system. It does what it does. If it's not getting enough water, it can't move things around the way it wants to. If it's not getting enough sleep, it can't fully recover. If it's not getting enough protein after a big workout, your body goes after a little bit of muscle instead. I mean, it's it does what it does. You have to do the right things. That's why people like me have a business, because we know what we're doing. We know how much protein you need, when you need it, how much water you need. And not only that, but the bottom line is, whatever your excuse happens to be for not working out, your body doesn't care. It's like if you have a tomato plant and it's a hot day and you're not going to water it, but you had a good excuse for not watering the tomato plant. The tomato plant doesn't care what your excuse was. It just knows it's going to dry out.
Yeah.
It didn't get the water.
That's true.
It really, I know it's an oversimplification, but I think that the main point is that when you start doing this, one of the first things you need to do mentally is you've got to pinpoint your motivation, because you know what? There's going to be a Monday morning when it's cold out and you're tired and you just don't want to get out of bed. And you've got to have that place of motivation that you go back to that makes you pop out of bed and get to the workout. Or if you're working out in the evening and it's been a tough day, you've got every excuse in the world lined up not to work out. Your body does not care what your excuse is. You've got to be able to go back and say, that's right, that's why I'm doing this, because I don't want to be a type 2 diabetic. Because, I'm trying to get ready for my class reunion. Whatever it is, whatever way you figured out to manipulate yourself, to motivate yourself to do the workouts and do the workouts effectively. I mean, really go after them. So, and I kind of touched on, the different times a day. And a little side note there. A lot of people like to work out in the morning. A lot of people work out at night. And some people don't have a choice. Their life is such, maybe they have kids, they have a job, whatever it is. Like my wife is a school teacher, so she can't work out in the morning. She gets up at 4:30 in the morning as it is.
Oh, wow.
There's no way she could get her workout in.
No.
But I will tell you this. In the summertime, she does do her workouts in the morning. I don't know why it is. Well, I kind of know why it is, but if you can get your workout done first thing in the morning, you just have a better day.
Yeah.
You just do. You have more energy mentally, and you know what? It's better for you physically, because if your workout consists of some HIIT, which is HIIT, okay, high intensity interval, if part of your workout is HIIT, you jack up your metabolism, and your metabolism will naturally be higher for the rest of the day, especially if you're eating little bits of protein along the way, not carbs. I mean, well, some low glycemic carbs are fine, but the cheap stuff, the sugar, the white starches, that slows your metabolism down. A lot of people think that that's going to jack you up, but eat a couple of candy bars and see what happens. You feel like going to sleep. That.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't make sense to jack up your metabolism right before you go to bed, because you really kind of, it's almost a job to shut it down. Plus, on top of that, you're drinking a lot of water during your workout, and I don't know about you, but man, there's nothing worse than having to get up in the middle of the night to pee.
Oh yeah,
just a bear. So if you can get your workout done in the morning, you're gonna burn more calories through the day because your metabolism's a little higher. You got time to get all your required water in. Finish up your water by 6, 7 o'clock at night so you can get a full night's sleep. So, but again, you've got to have that place of motivation to go back to, and it's almost, believe it or not, it's almost like quitting smoking. I don't know if you've ever known anybody that smoked for a long time and they had to quit. But if you hear them say, I'm going to try to quit, they're not going to do it, right?
It's true.
They've left themselves a little bit of room to get out, a little crack in the door, right?
Yeah.
So, if they're going to quit smoking, if they really do it, if they're really going to do it, they tell everybody around them that they're going to do it. They tell, especially they tell the arrogant people, the people that think they're too good for them. Okay. The people that look down their nose at them, they'll tell them. They clean their car. They get rid of all the ashes in the ashtray. They get rid of the ashtrays. They get rid of the lighters. They clean the carpet. They clean the furniture. They get their teeth cleaned. They start pounding water. Okay, they do all these things. They start working out because they've got to do all these other things.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Then the other thing is I just had somebody come to the door.
Oh, that's fine.
I really can't, man. Can you sign it for me? Yeah. Thank you. Pete, can you cut this part out?
We'll make sure to edit it out and put it on the blooper reel, the gag reel.
Yeah, right. But it's the same. It's the same with when you do this. You have to have your food prepared. You have to have a plan. What am I going to eat? What's my diet going to be? When am I going to cook all this stuff? When am I working out? Where am I getting water from? If I have a road trip, do I have a special cup for my water? You go out and buy yourself a big blue cup. Mm-hmm. You know, they say, hey, there's Tarryn again with their darn cup. He's always drinking water, you know? Yeah. You have to be intentional about this. It's not something that's just going to happen on its own. You've got to bang away at it. Mm-hmm. And just there's no room for failure. There's you know, failure is not an option to the line out of the movie. Yeah. So that's really the approach. And there's really a lot more to it. You know, I would encourage anybody to give me a call if they're, you know, up here in Swanee. Certainly stop by, just like this gentleman just did that I couldn't talk to because I'm talking to you right now. But you know, love to talk to you. There's a lot of life coaching that goes with this. Being a trainer, you know, this is a lot more than just being a trainer telling you how to do the reps with the right form. Mm-hmm. It's all up here too. So you've got to have the motivation to do it.
Yeah, that's really good stuff, Pete. Let me ask you a question on that motivation, sure. Because I see this a lot, and you've seen this a million times. I'm just curious. I always ask other personal trainers how they handle this. What about for a hypothetical situation when you have that client? And again, I'm not saying anything that's new to you. You've had this happen. I've had it happen, and it's always going to happen. It's the nature of the beast. But what about when you see a client who you've got a session scheduled with, and then at the last second, literally, something comes up, and they're like, oh, Pete, I can't make it, I'm sorry. And you've heard all the excuses. There's a million of them. What do you have to say on that? Is that something that, is there a way to cure that or fix that, or is it upon the client themselves to kind of, address that and find out what the resolution is when they notoriously cancel or even no-show and don't even call you?
Well, by the way, since you asked that, I'll throw a shout out to our mutual friend Catherine Marshall.
Yeah, certainly.
Down at T. You know, she kind of trained me. I invested in her service for about 6 months, and I mean, she really gave me her expertise, and I use it every day. I really do, and that's part of it. You know, basically, as a trainer, you know, your time is your inventory. Yeah. So, you know, obviously, you know, life happens. A kid gets sick. There's a wreck. Somebody gets a speeding, whatever. Atlanta traffic. You know, I don't have to tell you anything about that. But then you've got the excuse makers. You've got the people that you can almost predict when they're going to flake. Yeah. And you know what, man? I let them go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're gonna, because the thing that people don't realize also about me as a trainer, probably not all trainers, but when you walk in the door to work out, I'm kind of like an iceberg. The time that you see me spending with you in the gym is just part of the time I'm spending on you. Mm-hmm. I'm planning. I'm looking over your records. I'm planning your diet. I'm planning your reps. I'm planning your next workout. I'm planning what regimen we're going to switch to next month, all based on your performance in here that during the current period. So I don't have a lot of time to waste. Mm-hmm. I'm a busy guy. And so, and I would say out there to the clients, man, you need to check yourself. If you're finding yourself kind of compiling excuses, making a laundry list of excuses not to work out, you got a problem. Mm-hmm. And you got to fix that, because you're not going to make any headway if you're not consistent. You've got to be consistent. Once again, your body does not care what your excuse is. I mean, it takes you, I call this the honeymoon period. It takes me about a month to get a client ready to work out. I mean, workouts for the first month are pretty easy. I mean, they're gonna work out, but they're not getting anywhere near failure. Okay, they're not doing any negative reps on a 4 set. In fact, they're not even going to do a 4 set. Maybe not a 3rd set, depending on the client. But if you go through all that trouble to get ready to work out, to get all your ligaments and your tendons and your joints all conditioned to start working out, and from a cardio standpoint, and then you start to flake after all that preparation, it's just a big waste of time.
Yeah.
And money. If you're not all in, go have a chili dog, man. I mean, serious, until you're ready.
Yeah.
Because, and you know this, man, and some people have quite a mountain to climb. But it can be done with intelligence and with discipline and an understanding of exactly what's going on in your body. And that's the great thing about the human body. No matter what you've got to start with, you can always build on it. You can build on whatever you've got. If you're willing to put in the effort, you can do it. You tighten the screws slowly. You don't just go after it all one time, because then you get hurt. But if you'll combine it in the gym with what you're doing outside the gym, with your nutrients and your protein and getting your sleep, pretty soon things start to come together. And once you get in the habit of having that lifestyle, it's a beautiful thing. It really is. And a lot of problems that you have, my knees hurt all the time, or my back hurts all the time, or my elbows hurt all the time. Well, guess what? It's because you're fat. Your knees aren't designed to carry all that weight.
Yep.
When you start losing all that fat, all these problems kind of magically start to disappear. And I don't care what your doctor says. When you get into shape, your body will respond. And I mean, it's really great. You have some freedom. You're no longer walking around in that prison of fat. And I'll tell you right now, I think I told you this before. People don't realize it, but there's some people walking around in a prison that they built. And it's such a gradual process. They just don't realize, how great their life really could be if they would get rid of this stuff, get disciplined, get educated, apply themselves, and start working on it and pecking away at it. I frankly feel sorry for those people. I mean, you gotta go for it, because you're only here one time.
Yeah, that's true.
And on top of that, if you're a parent like I am, I tell you what, my daughter Olivia, she loves artwork. She's always painting little pictures or whatever, as cute as a button. But she actually did a little sign for me. It's in our kitchen window right now. It says, "Keep on going."
Oh,
I
like
see that every morning, and that's whatever it is. That's part of my support system. So if you have, that's another subject. I don't know how much time we have left, but you do need some. It's very helpful to have support from your spouse. Okay. Now, I'm not talking about trying to drag your spouse into doing it. That doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
If your spouse is out of shape, there's no way you're going to coerce your spouse into doing this. They have to see you do it over and over and over, and then they'll come along. But if you try to press them, they're just going to push back. They're just going to go the other way. But, Don Shula, right? Everybody knows Don Shula. I kind of go by, successful people's philosophies. And, he was the winningest football coach. One of his philosophies was, the only way I know how to lead is by example. And so that is the advice I would give to someone who has a spouse who, I would like my spouse to do this too. You just have to kind of pin your ears back, put your nose down, and do what you've got to do, and they will eventually follow without any pressure. Now, I will tell you this, going back to the cigarette smoking thing, right? If you smoke and you want to quit, and your spouse smokes and they don't want to quit, good luck.
Wow.
Same with working out. If you're getting into shape and your spouse isn't interested in getting into shape, you go to the gym and work out every night, and then you come home to a big plate of ravioli on the kitchen table every night, and you're hungry. It's tough.
Yeah.
So, I'm not a marriage counselor.
You should be, though. It's,
No.
This is good information.
Oh,
this is good stuff here, Pete.
So anyway, I mean, that's another subject.
That's a whole nother video blog we got to set up.
That's a series of video blogs.
That really is. Yeah, I like that. We're going to have to set that one up.
Yeah. So.
Well, Pete, this has been great. Let me ask you this before I let you go. Let's plug some information. Can we get the website and your phone number plugged before we let you get going here, please?
Yes, the website is incredibly long address. It's www.decisionfitnessandnutrition.com. Okay. Sorry about that. My address, we're on the corner of Swanee Dam and Peachtree Industrial.
Okay.
Right behind CVS in Swanee, 4325 Swanee Dam Road, Suite 600. And it's obvious where we're at. Our signage, we've got signs all over the place.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to schedule an appointment, you can text or call me at 404-786-1742.
Perfect. Well, Pete, this video blog on motivation was very inspiring. It's actually motivated myself. You've helped me. This was the deal breaker for myself. I was trying to figure out if I should sneak my workout in, and I was telling myself, well, it's Friday, it's a weekend. Most of my clients aren't working out, but you've convinced me. Once we're finished here and I'm out of here, I'm going to go work out. So there you have it.
Come on over, man. I'll be here. I've got a client at as late as 7 o'clock tonight. So.
I'm going to come up there, and again, we're going to have to set up a video blog to do remotely from the fitness center up there in Swanee. So
perfect.
Let's set that up. Let's do that for sure.
We'll see you next time, man.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Pete. That's Pete Finazzo, everybody. Decision Fitness Nutrition right here on GoTarryn TV.
All right. Take care, bud.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, everybody, there you have it. Mr. Pete Finazzo, Decision Fitness Nutrition, right here on GoTarryn TV, telling you about motivation. So, again, a wonderful video blog there. We love having Pete on here. True gentleman. I encourage everybody to please check out his website, give him a call or text, and tell him you saw him right here on GoTarryn TV. And, hey, visit him in person, too, at the studio when you get a chance, right up there at his studio in Swanee. And actually, after we were done recording, Pete and I were issuing a challenge to Catherine Marshall. If she's watching right now, Kathy, we want you to come up to the studio so the three of us can brainstorm and get together and check out Pete's place. So if simply Catherine is watching by chance, you, GoTarryn, over at Swanee at Decision Fitness Nutrition with Pete. We got to make it work, and we'll do a remote video blog right there. So that's the challenge. I've thrown out the gauntlet for today. Hope everybody's enjoyed this video blog today. Again, it's always a true honor and pleasure having Pete on. If you could also, please make sure to connect with yours truly, Tarryn the Traveling Trainer, by liking GoTarryn on Facebook, subscribing to GoTarryn on YouTube, and following GoTarryn on Twitter. That way we'll stay connected, you and I, Tarryn the Traveling Trainer, and you beautiful person. Thanks for watching today's video blog show. GoTarryn, Tarryn the Traveling Trainer, always tells you that it's your time, it's your investment, it's your life. We'll see you on the next video blog, everybody. Bye-bye.